Alright, how y'all doing today? This is King Hart.
Matt Fields.
And this is Contrary to the
Belief.
And we got a special guest up in here. This is one of my good friends, somebody that, really I linked up with in high school, and, he's been a good friend. He put me on the show a few times. His name is Mike Nice. Say what's up to the people, Mike.
What's going on, Mike? Thanks. I'm excited to be here and speak to you and your listeners and viewers, so thank you.
Oh, man,
Happy
you're
New
welcome.
Year.
You're welcome. You also have a platform, too, the Mike Nice Show on CTV.
I just want to say we go back way before high school. We were on a Guardo basketball team.
Oh yeah,
I think Sports Haven. I think so. It was before high school, so I just want to throw that out there.
Definitely, Art and Farnham League.
Yes,
I definitely remember that.
When I was the bench warmer and you were playing.
Oh,
that's the truth. I'm just being honest. I was the bench warmer back then.
I just got one question. What happened in high school? Why was you on the team in high school?
Track called me, man. I was a long distance runner, so Coach Jay and I, we were never on the same page. I would rather have Coach Aaron be the head coach. So. But track, I love track. I had a passion for running, so.
No, I got you. You always did though. Epic battles. But how you doing, Matt Fields?
Chilling, man. Happy New Year to everyone.
Definitely.
Glad I made it to another year, starting off, and we ready to get it started.
Yeah, man.
How you doing, King?
Oh man, I'm doing great, man. It's been a while for us, man. But happy belated Christmas and happy belated New Year's to everybody else. So we kind of still catching up. But on the contrary, it was a lot of stuff that went on we wasn't able to report. Because we got families. And we also had to spend time with them as well. But one thing that we do need to talk about is just like New Year's resolution goals.
Okay.
I know I made a few before the New Year's. I've been doing them. So what about you, Mike? You had any New Year's resolutions?
So like I told you before we was on air, like I want to be a better person, better son, better brother. I know that sounds so cliche, but now that I'm 31 years old and looking back, how I act towards my family sometimes is not always the most proud moments for me. Mm-hmm. So I want to become a better family man. Just stay fit, go to the gym. Hopefully I could dunk a basketball. I doubt it, but just stay healthy.
All right. Now you still play ball, right?
I do. And a few months ago, Otis and I were going at it at Facebook, and I told him I could beat him, and I'm still holding my word that I could definitely beat him without my shoes, with my socks, like things like that. But I play ball here.
Yeah, what you think? What you think, man? You think Otis could beat Mike?
We're talking about
Otis. Yeah, Otis Vincent. No pop.
Man,
I call him no pop.
I haven't seen both of them play. I don't think I've ever seen Mike play. Otis, man. Last time he dominated, I think that was middle school. I don't know. So.
I'm gonna just say this, yo. Otis, you ain't ready yet. You not ready yet. Me and Mike, yo, we used to meet up on Middletown Ave, and we played crazy basketball games. And I'm telling you, Mike's a competitor. Otis, I don't know why Otis think it's gonna be sweet. It's not. So, trust me, yo.
So that offer still stands out there for Otis if he wants. I think the bet was. If I lose, which I won't, he could host a show with me, co-host my show, and then when I win, he has to dress up as a ballerina. I told him I'll even pay for the ballerina suit for him.
Wow. Dag, Otis, man, I think you should reconsider.
Yeah, because that's going to be all on the gram, Snap.
And my question to you is, when the last time you played basketball, bro? Really, I'm being real, yo. Like, if you ain't pick up a ball in a while and you try to play Mike, you don't get it. Mike does this, man. I remember going to the Y in the morning. He's at the Y. Playing games, leaving. That's how Mike was.
Serious, yeah.
Mike's a competitor. But Matt, tell me, you got New Year's resolution?
Man, I like what Mike's saying. Just keeping it simple. Always evolving, improving, working on your weaknesses. And I just want to tell you, Mike, this is the year of the entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
This is the year that. It's been a buildup, of just people coming from social media, but it's not even just social media. It's actually doing things in your community.
Mm.
Building within your communities is coming up because we can't lean now on the government and big corporations to always take care of the business. Now we got to start going out there again and just start working in our community to build it and make it better. So I think that, if we're focused on that and, your heart is really into it, you can see entrepreneurship really grow. Just like the way it's back in with Dixwell Avenue. You know, remember we were talking about with Sean Reeves how Dixwell used to be a thriving community, but then the small businesses left. So, you know, just be a better person, work on the business, and work on doing things more in the community.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. You know, because it's we need more businesses, especially more black-owned businesses. We talk about that a lot too. You know, and people got to start stepping out of their mindset and, you know, stop thinking that 40 hours is going to get it, because it's like 40 hours is not going to get it. It's about what you're trying to do outside of those 40 hours that's really going to make you your money. You know, but my New Year's resolution definitely is to just, I want to at least every day work on the business. If it's doing something, if it's making a phone call to somebody, or even if it's just reaching out to try to get on the show, or even like doing an outline or trying to line up the next guest for the show, I definitely want to work on the business at least once a day for about an hour. You know, definitely. And also, you know, just eat healthier and drink more water. You know, that's what's really important. You know, drinking a lot of water is, like, a lot of older people die from dehydration. You know, just from not drinking enough water. It's something that simple that people don't do, that either kills them or they get other diseases.
And not drinking a lot of water, what does it affect first? The kidneys.
Yep.
You know, so if you're talking about kidney health, and, you know, I know a lot of people close to me that's family's been affected from, you know, kidney failure. So, you know, that is something serious to consider.
Yeah, you know, so that's my goal for the year. Definitely more H2O, and like definitely we're gonna throw some contrary to the belief events. You know, we definitely are. We're gonna that's definitely a huge goal for this year to definitely do a contrary to the belief event. You know, we in the workings, we trying to work on something now. We're not gonna say too much about it. When we get everything finalized, we'll finally come out. But definitely doing events and reaching out and doing more community stuff, you know, and marches, you know, but for just being positive, you know, because I don't want to just say, like, I'm from New Haven. I actually want to, like, show people like I've done something for here. Because a lot of people, they say, oh, I'm from here or I'm from there, but they don't do nothing for the city, you know, and I want people to remember the things we did. And, you know, just alone, like, with the Black Fleet and everything else, shouts out to them.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, and Mike, too, you know, because Mike's a big figure, too, in the community. He do a lot, too. You know, but those are my New Year's resolutions, you know, for my goals for this year. You know, but on another note, we went to this rap showcase event. It was out in Hartford, and a lot of good artists. I
think it was a showcase supper.
Yeah, it was actually it was a contest. They were playing for about $1,000.
$1,000. Yeah.
And it was a good event. You know, I mean, it does get overwhelming hearing people rap for a long time. I'm telling Mike, it gets overwhelming.
Yes.
Yeah, especially when, like, because everybody doesn't rap with bars.
Right.
They just rap just to rap.
Right.
You know, so sometimes if you don't hear bars, you gotta, like, turn a certain tune off in your ear so you can, like, all right, I'm gonna try to vibe with this dude. But I just believe you have to have a message with your word, because you got to catch the audience. And, like, only a few artists really caught me like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good event, you know, good show out. You know, money was involved, so, you know, there was a lot of disappointment if the artists didn't win, but I think they gave it their all, you know. Shout out to Long Live Mitch, who's one of Black Fleet's artists that we interviewed a couple of months ago. But Mitch did his thing, you know. I think he did excellent, actually.
I think he did too. I really thought that. I felt like he should have placed.
Yeah.
You know, there was the guy who run it, I think, was Two Tails.
Yeah.
And then there was a second place dude. His name was Kim, and then they had this other dude called Praise.
Yeah.
Those were the three.
What do you think about the artists that placed?
I think Praise was definitely, he was a dope artist. I think he would have won. He would have definitely won it if he didn't mess up as much. And Two Tails and the other artist Kim, Kim was running out of breath, and then the other dude, Two Tails, like he had a flawless performance. He didn't mess up not once, but like it just his voice kind of get annoying after a while. So, but like
the judges were looking for a particular thing. And I think one judge said was they didn't want music to play in the background, the actual lyrics to play in the background. They want, you know, just an instrumental, you know? So, I mean, there's little things that they were looking for, but I think that overall, CT showed out again.
Nah, they
You
did.
know? There's a lot of artists out here, man.
It's a lot of talent, a lot of talent. I mean, it's from what we just seen, and even with the young people coming up. Like, it was one dude. Like, I really don't know what his songs was about, but I just know he was a turn up dude. Like, he was jumping all over the stage. He jumped on like some counter or something like that.
He had the energy.
Yeah, he had the energy.
Yeah.
The energy was definitely there. Shout out to my boy Saeed too, man. I see you on the live, you know.
Yeah.
But the energy was there for it to be like what 8 degrees.
Yeah, it was cold.
Yo, it was cold.
Wow.
It was
Cold.
New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
like, you know. And but it was great. Shouts out to Lonely Mitch. I felt
Yeah.
like he should have placed. He did his thing for all this performance. You know?
Yes.
He did his thing.
Definitely.
You know. But another thing that we kind of want to talk about. This is like, to me, I actually had this conversation like a few weeks ago, and we was talking about, you know, women calling each other the B word, you know. So, and I also was like, I want to talk about, because guys, we call each other the N word too. I try to stop using it, but I find myself using it sometimes. So, you know, just talking to this woman, she said that, you know, it's just like, you know, oh, what's up? That's my friend. That's my homegirl. Da 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 da. And, you know, for me, I'm like, well, I said, if I hear somebody calling another woman that, I don't feel that type of way. You know, I think differently. And she's like, oh, it's not like that. We do this. But I said, if a guy calls you that, you want to fight him. She's like, yeah, because he disrespect me. So, unconsciously, you and your friend disrespect each other, but get mad when a man disrespect you and say that. But it's a problem when he say that. And it's the same way with the N-word. You know, we get mad. Well, like I seen people, black people call white people the N-word, and I'll be like, why would you call them that if you don't want them to call you that? You know, and they'll call them that, and be like, but when they say it to us, it's what you say? Yo, what? We got a problem now? What you saying? It's the double meaning, you know. So I look at the same thing, but she didn't. She felt differently. Like, how you feel about that, Mike?
Man, listen, I still use the N-word here and there as well. Not gonna lie, especially when I play basketball. You know, if I get in a heated discussion or a call isn't being called or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's all about respect. So if you call a woman B, if you call a guy N-word, it's all about how much you really respect them. For example, none of us at this table probably uses the N-word or uses that kind of language towards our family or our mother or our grandmother, because it's all about respect. It's in us. So even if you're best friends with somebody, if you want to really respect them and that person says, please don't call me that, you're gonna have that consciousness not to call that person the N or the B word. So it's all about respect. And the N word, like, you know, I'm 31 years old, and I always think about that, you know, when I'm like alone, and like how that word has evolved and whatnot. And for me, and you guys could, you know, maybe you'll disagree, but it's all about the hood, right? So I've seen a lot of white people who use the N-word, but who actually grew up in the hood, and black people have no problem with that. I see a lot of Puerto Ricans use the N-word that grew up in the hood. Black people don't have a problem with it. So, you know, there's this big notion that white people can't use the N-word. That's not true. In my opinion, it's all about where you grew up and who you know, right? And
well, I mean, how do you feel about that? Because like I'm gonna be, when I went to New Hampshire. Now I was out in the mountains, in New Hampshire, right? There was this kid. He was black and white, and his friend came to campus, and you know, we was walking one day, and like he like called me the N-word, and I was like, I said, don't call me that. And he's like, oh nah, you know, I call him that all the time, so you know, I didn't think it would be. I said, nah, I'm not comfortable with you calling me that. Don't call me that. You know, so around certain crowds, it may be comfortable, but if you bring somebody in a certain, they would be like, yo, like, nah, that's not cool.
Right.
You know, but it's then again, it is how you grow up. But Eminem decided not to use that word, and he said they gave him a pass. You know, so
with that, what's his name? Machine
Gun Kelly.
He uses the N-word, and he's white.
Well, I gotta listen to this music
Yeah,
again.
I
I never
that.
even knew that.
The song "Something in Paris," he uses it a couple of times in there. So
Yeah. So he did.
yeah.
Yo, that's my favorite song
Yeah,
too. Yo, I
listen
gotta
to it in
listen
the workout.
to.
Yeah, in the beginning. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's a level, like I think Mike's saying, some white people that are raised in a certain environment from the beginning, you know, there's a level of authenticity that you could feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I always feel like as African Americans, we're feelers. You know, I think that, you know, with my job, remember I was talking about thinkers and feelers. And
Yeah.
I think white people are great thinkers, you know, but when it
Mhm.
comes to black people, we're good feelers. And I think we could feel who's real and who's, you know,
Yeah.
who was raised kind of in the suburbs and using that word. So when it comes out, you could feel and say this is authentic, or this is, you know, this is just somebody trying to be cool or trying to fit in, you know.
I will say that we're probably like the only race, black people, that have used the N word, and then, you know, our generation, we say it to greet each other, and it's more of a positive than 100 years, you know, way back then.
Mhm.
But I will say, I guess the pros and cons of that, like, we changed the word in our generation. In our example, it's a positive, but in our grandparents' generation, that's a word that they don't want to hear. Because you don't hear Puerto Ricans calling each other spit, and then I forgot the word for Italians. You don't hear them throwing words like that. So it's like a pros and cons. Like, we use it for positive, but a lot of people want to eradicate that word, which I understand their point of view. But you don't hear other races and Jews and insulting each other like that. So it's like something to kind of scratch your head about.
The only reason why I think sometimes they don't use it is because they know who they are, meaning that.
But we know who we are too.
We know who we are, but we still don't. You know, we still don't. Our identity really is. I mean, if you do your research, you'll know who you are. But a lot of times, us three might know who we are. But there are some African Americans, a lot of African Americans that don't know who they are. You know, they don't. They can't. You know, they can't. I mean, your last name's Howard. We can go back to last name Harper, last name Philpott. That's not really who we genetically, where our ancestors were, what was their last name, you know? So there's a sense of knowing who you are, a sense of not knowing who you are. And I think that, we did flip it into the N word, but, you know, that's just kind of what we were almost like free living to do. But I think if people really knew their real worth, if African Americans knew their real worth, the majority, not, you know, I think that they would see that, you know, that word is not good,
right.
You know, but I just think a lot of times they just, you know, they don't, you know, we don't.
I agree with that. I mean, but how do you feel about, you know, women women calling each other the B word?
Yeah,
know?
it's the same as like guys when we say what up my nigga, what up my nigga. It's, you know, girls, you know, do it all the time, especially, you know, they're BFFs. So if they don't, I mean, like I said, it's all about respect. So some females may say, don't ever call me B to their best friends or to anybody. You know, don't come, and if you respect that person, you're not. But, you know, it's all about like the person vibe and, you know, how much you really respect that person. Someone could say, don't ever call me a nigga, and then you like F that nigga. You know what I mean? It's all about respect and stuff like that. True. In my point of view.
I guess you could say they try to say it's the tone, but it's like with me, it sounds kind of like when I hear like women calling each other that, like it's how I hear it. You know, like I understand what you're saying, but just from like my point of view and listening, I'm like, yo, y'all disrespecting the mess out of each other right now.
Right.
And it's like, if I was to say that, and it was in a joking way or whatever, it's a problem.
Right.
You feel me? And it is what it is. If that's how you greet your friends and that's how you choose to, but just understand that when a man is around and when he hears that, it's gonna dictate how he treats you.
But I'm just speaking like as it is, you know, because, you know, it's just towards certain people. I don't think that every woman it should be called a B word, and I don't think they are. You know, I don't think we call every woman a B word. I don't think it's right, but I just think that there's some women that don't respect themselves like there's some men that don't respect themselves. And I think that you should never use it, but if you do use it, I don't think men intend to use it for every woman. I don't think that's just, you know.
And I hear you. I got you. I hear you a little bit. You know, it's just, you know, it was a good conversation to have, especially just to put it out there. But it just like, if you know how to control yourself around certain people, like what Mike was saying before, you know if you at work and you in front of your boss, you're not gonna call her that. You know if you was in front of a client, you're not gonna call her that. You know, so you can control what you say, and that's what I'm trying to get people to see is that if you can control what you can say, then you can. It's not
about respect.
Yeah.
Like when I go to see my mother, automatically the N word never comes out my mouth. Like I could be as mad as ever. And I'll use language, but I won't use the N word. So it's all about like who you respect.
Exactly.
But that's the key word: who you respect.
Right.
Who you respect.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
that-
a
who you
girl,
respect.
I'm saying a girl could say to their BFF, "Don't call me B," to their BFF, and if their BFF, respects her, she won't call her B.
Right.
That's what I was saying earlier.
Right.
It's all about.
When somebody walks in the room, you can tell the level of respect somebody has
Of course.
for themselves.
You have that demeanor, you have that demeanor
so,
about you.
So it's just the way you carry yourself and
Right.
the way that you're not going to say it to any woman. That's just not a word. I don't see men just. A woman that commands respect is going to get respect. That's how I feel. So.
All right, no, that's cool. So we earlier this year we went to CTV.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, let me correct myself. CTV.
Please, we're not at that level yet. A lot of people always get confused. CPTV and CTV. It's two different stations.
I know, I get it.
Well, I wish.
No, I mean it will. And you were interviewing Dr. Umar.
Yeah, I saw you that day. Remember? I was wondering. I was like, "Yo, I got a show with Dr. Umar Johnson. Come through."
Yeah, man. How was it interviewing him?
I mean, you were there. I mean, I guess in his standards, I'm not truly black. Even though recently I just saw the first time ever Paid in Full. So shout out to Rock for letting me watch that. But no, I mean, he's an interesting man. Like I said in the very end, I don't know if you remember, I told him, and he does, Dr. Umar Johnson or Umar Johnson, because some people says he's not a real doctor. He really does remind me of the early Martin Luther King. Not Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Before he did the South Journey and went to other countries and saw that, white people are not the enemy. That's who he reminds me of right now. White this, and black people can't marry to white girls. And if they marry to white girls, they don't like their own community and they want to be white. That's nonsense, in my opinion.
So
that's crazy.
So how do you feel about
Yeah, well, first of all, you know me. I'm gonna be honest. Back in high school when I was running track, I love white girls. I love all kind of girls now, but definitely in high school, I definitely had a lust for white girls. But I'm 31 years old. Love is love doesn't choose you're supposed to marry a black guy or a black girl. You love whoever you fall in love with, and that person is Chinese, Latino. Then it is what it is. So. He was really interesting, and I always try to get interesting people on my show. And one thing that a lot of people don't know is when you're doing a podcast or interview, you don't have to agree. Actually, it's good not to agree. It makes a great interview. So a lot of stuff he said I didn't agree, and like I said, he reminds me of a early Malcolm X before he did his self-discovery. But it was interesting. Thank you for coming too.
Oh yeah, we actually came late. So when we came in, it was 10 minutes left.
Did you come in when we were arguing, face it was like
yeah, but we couldn't really hear nothing.
Okay.
We was behind the glass, then they told us to go down to the other room.
Oh, okay.
But just it was a fun experience, and I love the fact that you challenge them, and I know you always going to do that. You're going to challenge people. But one thing that I was watching something before. Now Dr. Umar, he actually had a girlfriend, and his girlfriend wasn't black. She was light. She was Puerto Rican.
Right.
So
he contradicts his own self.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people do. So that he had. I mean, I didn't know about that, but I know he had.
Well, that was a couple years ago, but it was still around the time because he been saying that black people need to stay with black people for a long time.
Yes.
So that was definitely a couple years ago when I had seen it, but. I don't really agree with that either. That we should just date somebody that looks like our mother.
That's actually, to me, we're living in 2018, that's so ignorant of anybody, especially of an educated person like that, to say you have to love within your race. And I always say this, and I'm not going to try to get too far off the table, but, gays and transsexuals and blacks, whites, I say this, I always give this analogy. If you were dying and you needed a heart transplant, and the only transplant you could get is from a gay person heart or a white person heart, you're telling me you won't take the heart?
Exactly.
If I was dying, the only heart was out there was white or my family, yeah, we're gonna take that heart, right? At the end of the day, it's skin, it's your color is a visual of other people, but it's not who you are. If you're black, like I said, I didn't see Paid in Full, but to him, I guess I wasn't a true black person. So, the color of your skin is really a visual effect for the society, but it's not who you are as a person.
Yeah, and I think that, ignorance is not something that's just from the black side, too. Ignorance could be from any type of race.
Exactly.
Of course.
And
People.
like, just from people, and you think about, this that preaching of what Dr. Umar is saying is the same type of preaching that could be coming from Italians, could be coming from the Jews. You don't see a lot of those type of interracial, mixes and other races and cultures. So, yeah, I do come down on, but Dr. Umar in the fact that anyone should be able to love anyone, But when it comes down to coming at a black person because he believes that, that man, when it comes down to blacks, we hardly can stand on anything by ourselves without any type of persecution, right? So what I'm trying to say is that let's kind of switch the narrative and say, okay, well, if the Italians and Jews, let's push the narrative of them to interracial with us. If it's that much of a contradiction of Dr. Umar, what he believes, other people, other races should believe the same as well. So we have to push the narrative to everyone across all boards.
I agree with that. Just watching the interview, and hearing Dr. Umar talk. I actually saw him on the Breakfast Club too. And it's like when you disagree with him, it's an argument. It's he has to prove why he's right. And that's not what we're supposed to. We're supposed to lift each other up. There's certain information you don't know. You're still supposed to be an open book. It's when you start to close yourself to certain avenues and think, I know everything, you don't know what you're talking about. Because it was like, I felt like when you started talking, he would just interject. He would say something else. And that's not fair. Like, let you get your thought out and let you say what you got to say, because now you're cutting the audience off, and now they're looking at him like, yo, he's not going to let you say anything. Right. And that's exactly what happened. You still have to come down to a level, like, you brought him on the show, just to, like, help him out, get publicity so other people could watch and actually feed on to what he's saying. But he has to let you get your thoughts out. And there was actually a situation, you remember the situation when we was in the back, right? And we, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about it. I mean, you set it up, I finish it. You set it up,
So, there was a girl in there, Caucasian girl.
Now, I know exactly who you're talking about.
See, you already know.
No, yeah, but her, I'm not going to say her name, but I will say she's definitely family to me.
Okay.
So, but go ahead. So, just want to say, watch it. But she's family.
All right.
But go ahead.
So, now, if that's the case, so tell them, or just...
We can say it respectful. We're not saying it.
I know what we're going to say, because someone told me a little bit about it later on that day, but go ahead.
Yeah,
I just want to say, this person who you're talking about, she's very smart, she's very, like, open-minded, and she's very, like, like, high-spirited and always friendly around a lot of people. So go ahead.
Yeah. Nah, and it's like, no disrespect, because she was actually, she offered me stuff, she helped out, but, like, I was coming back in on the phone, and, like, she just came out of the recording, She said that somebody had took over. And when she came out, it was during the segment when they were talking about, interracial marriages and stuff like that. So she just walked out. So we're sitting there, we're watching the show, and she just decided to keep, like, talking there in the show and telling us, wanting to talk about what Dr. Umar was talking about.
Right.
So
she was informing you guys because you guys were late. That's by the way, she's my executive producer of the show. Go ahead.
So
we probably should just, I mean, if you want to say it, but we're not gonna say it any type of way disrespectful. I just want to say that.
All right.
We're saying
But it was like, it wasn't
observation.
It wasn't disrespectful. It was just the fact that, like, she wouldn't let us listen to it. She kept.
Oh yeah, that's her. That's her.
So
she's talkative. Yeah, that's her. She means well, but and like I said, she was probably like this, not knowing, but like giving you guys informed because you guys said you came late, so I'm sure she was just probably like. But no, she talks. Oh man, she talks a lot. So that's nothing.
But on that note, that's where we're gonna leave that.
All right.
That's where we're gonna leave that. But other than that, it was a great show. We ended up connected with Dr. Umar. We took some pictures.
He was supposed to come that following week to Hamden, and the event got canceled because I went there and it was at this hotel in Hamden. And it got canceled. He never came back because I had the copy for him. I still have his copy.
Yeah, he actually, he actually texted me, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he texted me. He was like, yo, he said, he said the event got canceled. He was
Okay.
like he had another previous engagement, and he said that he was like he'll do it phone interview with us.
Money talks for him.
And I know, and I kind of figured that.
All right.
Like you feel me? I did, and then I say that. But it was still a great opportunity, like
Definitely.
to meet him and
Thank
go
you.
out there.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you
for
guys
the
for coming.
opportunity, man. I mean, and I wasn't just I've been on Mike's show a few times.
Like 3 or 4 times.
I think I remember one where the hypnotist came.
He's
Yeah.
been on that, and yeah, a couple
Yo.
times.
This dude, Mike, is a clown. My brother was on the show too, yo. I think we both got hypnotized. Yo, Mike was like, yo,
Is that real? To just kind of like,
Well, we was faking. I was fake. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yo, it was yo. Listen, it was this one
I don't know if I
time.
can
Mike
do it.
came in the room, right, and this was before he was like, yo, come here, yo. I was like, what? He was like, yo. He said, whatever he does, just pretend it works. Yo. So he came in, and so Mike's like, he's like, hey, Mike, how you doing? He was like, your foot stuck. So Mike's like,
Oh, right. Right.
yo, I was.
That's hard to like do stuff on the spot. That's more of a talent, acting skills. Remember, and then at the end, the first show that when you was on with the hypnotist, his name is Dan LaRosa. Big shout out to him too, because a lot of people know him from Holiday Hill when they go to Holiday
Oh,
Hill.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
So, big shout. So, but at the end of the show, if you remember, he said like we were all jumping around and he said freeze, and then we freeze on cue. Like I could bring the tape. We
Yeah.
froze on cue. Like
Yeah.
that's acting right there, man.
Nah, it was. man.
That was hard. That's difficult stuff. But
Listen, and then it was another show we talked about relationships.
yes, with me, you, your brother, and Ben Ortiz.
Ben.
Yeah, that, and I don't know, was that a call-in show? I think-
Yeah, it was a
I think
call-in,
few people
yo.
called in, so
Yo.
yeah.
It was one dude that called in, yo. This dude was like, he said, women are like spears. He said, you always gotta keep an extra one. And I was like, man, I said, if this dude ain't smooth, man. But it like me and Mike, we definitely go way, way back, man.
Waddles,
Way
and
back.
I was a bench warmer.
Yep.
And this for your listeners, and I'm sure, I don't know, because Mike is a nice and a humble guy. Just want to throw a little friendly little fact out there for your listeners. When Farnham Neighborhood House, well known in Fairhaven, they did the first All-Star team, like, All-Star tryout. Of course, I tried out. I got cut the first day. But Mike was one of the first members of the first All-Star team at Farnham. I know in Frank's office, there's a big picture of the first All-Star,
Yeah.
and Mike is up there. So Mike could play back in the day, real talk.
I didn't even know that. I gotta go back and look.
Don't quote me on the first, but I know it was one of the first All-Stars I heard of when I was at Farnham. I think it really was, because that's why he has that picture over his office. It got to have been the first All-Star, and Mike was one of the people that made it.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I just want to...
Dang. Well, yeah, man, I used to pull a little bit.
Definitely.
I still play. I mean, like I said, I coach high school. I told you, high school girls basketball. It's a tough season. It's definitely a tough. I think we're 2-3.
But at least you got some wins.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely we got wins, but it's a learning experience. So one thing I definitely learned, you gotta be patient, and you have to be. You gotta find positivity in anything, even if they do something and it goes out of bounds. You be, yo, good job. Good job. But
What's the age? You said high school?
Yeah.
Okay, high school. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
high school
Yeah.
varsity.
Yeah.
They don't have no JV, no JV and no freshmen.
Sounds like high girls.
Yeah, basically.
So you got, yeah, but that's
also
good,
two
though.
Hyde alums in the building too.
Yes. Rest in peace, Hyde.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect Creed, but high leadership, we will never be another school like that ever.
Nah,
Ever. Class. Mike, now this is where Mike and I disagree. 06 was the best. He was 05, but 06. 06, when we graduated, teachers got the heck out of there because they knew it was going downhill. Miss Ali left, Mr. Estes left, literally half of the staff literally left when 06 left. Like, real talk.
Yeah, it was honestly.
What class are you?
05.
05.
Ooh.
But
Can we get some 06 likes?
some
06. 06?
Yeah, I mean, I only went to Hyde for 1 year. So
I thought you went for 2. You just went for your
just for
senior?
1 year,
I thought
just
you
for my
were there
senior
for
year.
junior and senior. Okay.
Nah.
I knew you transferred, but I thought it was for 2 years.
yeah, I ended up I had to go to Hamden for 2 days and then I transferred back over to Hyde. It was crazy, I transferred over my last year. But my brother, he transferred. He went to Hyde for 3 years and then his senior year he transferred over too.
Okay.
To Hamden. But it's always good times when Mike's a really good dude, humble, and he's real, and he's been through mad stuff. I remember one time when you got grazed by a bullet,
Really?
Yo.
I
You don't got it to.
No, that's my story. So I'll leave it at that. I like that. That's my hood credibility right there. Yeah, I got great. Yeah.
I mean, you
It's
know.
a miracle, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's a miracle.
Nah, it is,
And that happened,
man.
actually. Shout out to my boy D, too. D got grades as well, too, man. So you guys are walking miracles, man. That's, there's definitely big plans. But one thing I got to say is Mike's been doing it for a real long time, huh?
Yeah.
And consistent.
Trying, yes.
How do you keep the consistency when it comes to your business and platform? I mean, I'm pretty sure you've had ups and downs during your time. But how have you maintained your consistency to other entrepreneurs and people trying to start a platform?
Well, I've been with Citizens Television, the Mike Nice Talk of the Talk show. This March 26 will mark 12 years. So I had it since my senior year in high school, like I said before we record. And it's all about, me personally, I want to be the best. I want to be the best interviewer, the best talk show host. In another 25, 30 years, when they talk about great talk show hosts like Oprah, Ellen, and Charlie Rose, and other great interviewers, I want my name to be in that category and then hopefully surpass them. So my passion has always been, since I was a little kid in the foster care system, I used to see Sally Jesse Raphael on television, and for the younger generation who are listening, she was like the Oprah in the late 80s and 90s. So when I first saw her and I was in the foster care, I was like, that's what I want to do. It was something about, her stylish glasses, having the sense of control and power, speaking in front of the camera, that captivated me at a young age. And I said, that's what I want to do. And when I was in East Rock, I did the morning announcements, and at the end of my junior year in high leadership, I was flicking through the channels, which a lot of people do and come across my show when they flip through the channels. And there was these two guys having a show, and to me, they were really whack. And I was saying, if they could have a show on CTV, I could have a show, my show could be much better. And I went to CTV, took the classes, did what I had to do to become a certified producer. And the very first show I did was March 26, 2006, and I had, I don't know if you remember Michelle Melvin, who was always smoking.
Yeah.
I had her on, I had Yanni, you don't know Yanni because she came our senior year, and I had Mr. Callahan.
For real?
And we just talked about everything, politics, music. It was like, we didn't have an agenda. It was strictly, like, probably the worst show I ever had. But from there, I have blossomed into, in my opinion, a respectable local talk show host throughout New Haven in the community. So to answer your question, how I have stayed consistent, I have the passion. I want to be the best. Like I said, another 20, 25 years, I want them to talk about me as a great interviewer, a great talk show host, or both. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. So that's how.
That's what's up, Mike. Now, you said you got started with CPTV in high school.
CTV.
I mean, sorry, my bad.
No,
CTV.
okay.
I know, my
It's
bad.
okay.
My bad.
It's CTV. I'm soon will be on that level. CPTV is a little bit higher than us, but go ahead.
Yeah, so you did that in high school, right?
Right.
Now, what made you, did somebody tell you about this opportunity, or you
No,
seeked it out?
like I said, when I was flicking through the channels, I knew where CTV was located. I knew kind of about what goes on in CTV. And like I said, I always wanted to become a talk show host when I was a little boy. So when I saw them, I literally went down to CTV and said, listen, how do you get a show? Just like that. I said, how do you get a show? And they said, well, you got to take classes, you got to do this. I said, all right, sign me up. I'm going to do it. And then I did everything I had to do to get that broadcast on my show.
All right.
Okay, I recognize him because my dad was on, doing CTV as well. And so when he did the Chapel Hour, I would see Mike, or maybe even, I don't know if you guys were on the same day. I think Chapel Hour goes on Tuesdays. But
well, we do live taping, so probably he could have had a live show and I was coming in after him doing a taping or vice versa,
he
or
probably
something like that.
He does recordings and then they tape it.
Oh, so then, so maybe he did a tape and I was coming in doing another
But
tape.
you've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah,
Just like
definitely.
I was stating, but yeah, I mean, all in all, though, my question, I know Mike, you was about to ask something too, but what's the difference between just free living, or what would you say to structure an interview? What would you give advice to somebody that says, well, I want to do interviews, or I want to do interviews?
Yep.
What type of recommendation would you tell them first before they get into interviewing people?
First, I would say that, like I said in the beginning, you don't have to get somebody that you agree on or agree on their policies or something like that. You could get somebody that you totally disagree. Second, do your research. So I like to read up on them a little bit, but I'm not going to lie, I'm not a big reader, so I'm not going to sit here and say I read like books and magazines about them. I don't. I read a little bit here and there. I'm a huge visual learner, so YouTube is my key source. I go to YouTube, look at any previous interviews that they did, and like I said, you want to stand out, so I try my hardest to avoid like the common questions and think of your own and kind of read between the lines and read between interviews that they did and say, listen, this interviewer didn't ask them about this. Let me kind of touch a little bit more about this. And so I do that, and then I always say, what will Oprah ask? Because when I think of and me personally, when I think of an interviewer or the best interviewer, I think of Oprah Winfrey right away. And I know we all have different opinions on that, but I would say, what will Oprah do? Or what will Oprah ask?
What was the best interview you did?
Man, I don't have the best interview. I would say my best show is my next show. And I say that because I've been doing this show for 12 years now, over 400 shows. Mm-hmm. And I don't have any kids, but I treat my shows like if I had children. So if you have all the parents out there, you really can't say who's your best, child. So, and like I said, I could say one of my worst shows was my first show. I could say shows that,
The most memorable.
Yeah, I would say shows that stood out for me were, I was the last person to interview Dr. Maya Angelou, which was a great honor. Molly Quirm from ESPN, she was a guest on my show. Linda McMahon, Misty Copeland, the first African-American solo ballerina. Malcolm X's daughter, she was a guest on my show 4 years ago for Black History Special. So those are a few that really stand out to me. But I can't really say this show is better than this show because each show I worked diligently on becoming a great talk show host. So to say this show is better than this one kind of devalues the hard work I did for this one or that one. So, but those shows, the Dr. Maya Angelou's, the Molly, Malcolm X's daughter, Misty Copeland, Linda McMahon, those shows kind of, ring a bell.
All right. Now, I know you say you don't have a best show,
right.
But oh man, I forgot my question. I had another question, but no, I'm gonna just jump into this next one.
Okay.
What's your future plan for this show?
So my future, my vision is to become a syndicated talk show or to be discovered from a network. I'm actually in the process in pitching a show idea to a network, and it's not even the Mike Nice Show. It's something else, but that hopefully will open doors for the Mike Nice Show. So I'm in the process of actually talking to True TV, and I have like a couple of weeks to pitch them a visual pilot. I can't really talk about what the show is, but like I said, hopefully that will open doors for the Mike Nice Show. So like I said, the ultimate goal since I was 4 years old is to become a syndicated or a nationwide talk show host, and hopefully inspire. Even nowadays, when people watch my show, I want people to get, yo, he has a passion. Like, this is what he wants to do. And people like you who have known I've done the show since high school, I want them to say, yo, he has this passion. He's going to do it. And if he could do it, I'm going to do it. And whatever your passion is, whether it's skateboarding, if it's chef, clothing, right? Whatever your passion is, I want people to see that passion in my show. Not necessarily seeing, if it was a great interviewer he interviewed, but the passion and
the energy.
And that's why I kind of feed off right now is that passion. Like, yeah, I've been doing, and you know what? Can I throw this out there? Mm-hmm. A lot of people say, how do you know your passion? How do you know what you're good at? And I say this. You know your passion because you think about it every day. I think about my show every single day. I think about my show right now, who I'm going to get, my next show this Thursday, blah, blah, blah. But you know your passion because you don't care about the money or the fame or anything. I've been doing my show for 12 years since my senior year in high school. And a lot of times when I go to schools and I speak, the kids say, well, how much do you get paid? Do you get paid per guest? I get paid not 1 cent for my show. And people mouth drop. I don't get paid a dime. And I have crew members and producers who don't get paid not 1 cent to help me out to, fulfill my dream. So I say, think about what you do. Would you be doing something for 12 years, 15 years, 5 years, and not get paid? And if you do, that means you know you have a passion, right? I'm not really, I have missed work many of times because I had a show and I choose to show over work. I have been I've been late for rent a couple of times because I missed too many days from work because I caught out because I was doing my show. Mm-hmm. So it's all about the passion you have, and the passion I have is I want to be the best, and I'm not really worrying about the money or anything else because I know my hard work is gonna pay through really soon. So that's how you know what you love. It's a big difference between loving something and liking something.
That's true. Passion can take you a long way.
Absolutely.
And it definitely could open doors that, like, you never even thought that you could even open. You know, some doors, like, you can't open yourself. You need somebody else.
And then, real quick, I promise, and I want to give just a big shout out to a lot of my crew members: Melanie Wheats, Rock, Dean, Danny Barron, and Connor. Those are just to name a few. These people help me every time I call and say I got a show Wednesday, I got a show Tuesday, and they're there. And like I said, they don't get paid. So, and I tell people I probably wouldn't be helping somebody if I'm not getting paid. So, they help me out to fulfill my dream. So, big shout out to them.
So I remember my question now.
Go ahead.
So how do you recruit? How do you go out and find the people you want to interview?
Man, I mean everything, to Facebook, to sometimes people suggest me guests that I should have. Sometimes I know people that know some celebrities, so they hook me up. Like when I interviewed Russell Simmons when he came to New Haven, we did a sit down interview. I only got that interview because the person who was hosting that event I knew personally, so he got me a hookup. But literally, whatever, the video that we were watching before,
Joyce.
I already said, what's his name?
Joyner Lucas.
Joyner Lucas?
Yeah.
I already said in my mind I'm going to get him. If I think somebody's interesting, I say I'm going to get him. So, how I get guests is, Google everything. I stalk, I do, all kinds of stuff to get guests. So everything you can imagine. Everything. Call, whatever. Lie. Do what I do what I have to do to, become successful and to get the guests. So.
And so, I think that was a good story, too, that how you were saying that you started off in foster care.
Yeah.
How did you get
November is National Adoption Month. May is Foster Care Month.
Right. Tell us if you can tell me just a little bit more about that, and how did you get how did you continue or get a drive and a passion for this? Because I know people sometimes that went in foster care and they are...
Absolutely.
They kind of, give up or they start adopting the street life. How did you maintain a focus that you were going to be successful and you were going to get,
To tell you the truth, and this sounds so cliche, God and my mother. Like I said, when I was in foster care, I knew I wanted to be a talk show. That doesn't mean I'm going to be it, or that doesn't mean I was going to go around that path to do what I have to do to become a talk show host. So God blessed me with a very special woman named Easter, who's the best mother in the world. And she adopted me at the age of 4 years old. And she was divorced and still is divorced. So it was her, my older sister, Claire, big shout outs to Claire Howard, who raised me. So if it wasn't for them and the household I was living, I tell people by now I'll be dead. I'll probably be incarcerated. I'll probably have 65 kids running around. I'll probably be heavily involved in drugs and alcohol like my biological parents were. So you say, how do I stay focused? Well, God blessed me, and then once I got adopted by this outstanding woman, she helped me, stay focused on whatever I wanted to do. So really, a little bit of that has to do with me, but most of it is God and my mother. And that sounds so cliche, but it's the truth because, like I said, me personally, I can't speak for all foster care children. If I was never adopted, I'll definitely be dead or in jail. Or I want to have this demeanor that you see in front of you. So that's how I made it out of foster care. And to be honest, my foster care experience was decent compared to a lot of foster care. I don't remember being sexually abused and really being involved with drugs or having drugs around me. So I'm not gonna lie and say the foster care for me was, I definitely felt neglected like a lot of foster care children. But when I found my mother Easter, my life changed. So that's how I stayed focused. And then from there on, I was like, once I knew what I wanted to do, I was like, the sky is the limit, or
Mm-hmm. Now, so what challenges do you face, with this show?
Right. So the biggest challenge is obviously not being discovered, not being picked up on the network, In anything you do in life, you want to be discovered. You want your work to pay off. So I'm still working on that, which is a journey. Which I love the journey. I love every day, every year chasing and saying that this year is my year. I already said this 2018 is going to be my year because I'm already pitching a show idea to a network. So that's the biggest challenge. That's like the challenge that everybody wants. They want to be discovered. And then within the show, like how I produce a show, the biggest challenge I face is, let's say I say, Mike, can you be on my show? And you say, yeah. But you said the only day I could come in is Tuesday. Well, the way CTV works, they're only open Monday through Thursdays. They're not open Fridays on the weekends. So basically, I have to correlate your schedule and see if the studio is available. So if you're only available on a Wednesday, let's say between 2 and 6, I have to call CTV and say, is the studio available on Tuesday between 2 and 6? And a lot of times it's not. Then I have to call you back, yo, Mike, it's not open Tuesday, but can you come Monday? Like, so it's the challenge is making sure that the guest schedule correlates with the studio schedule, because a lot of CTV producers book the studio. I'm not the only one, which I wish I was, but so that's the biggest challenge, making sure the guest, and a lot of times it doesn't, so I have to lie to the guest and say, I literally lie and say, oh, we can't do that day because CTV is going to be closed, or my director mother died, or like I make it that extreme so they won't give up, because a lot of times they say, well, especially the big celebrities, if they can't do it on a certain day, they're not going to do it again. Because, I'm not a household name. Exactly. So by me just reaching out to them and saying, okay, well, do it, I have to take that advantage. So a lot of times I say, okay, we can't do it on Wednesday, but could we do it on Monday, please? We can definitely do it on Monday, because like I said, I have to call CTV and book the studio. So that is the biggest challenge.
Wow.
Correlating the time schedule with the guest schedule. That's the biggest one.
Yeah.
And I have lost some guests over that.
Oh, so. You have? Well, we deal with the same thing.
Yeah,
so,
man, you already know.
Especially like with Matt, because he got to book the studio time.
Right.
And like, people understand we pay for the studio session.
Oh, wow, see?
Yeah, so luckily, thank God, knock on wood, nobody ain't never not show up. The first time, I think it was the first show where our guest didn't show up.
Oh,
but
wow.
he told us that before, so we just regardless, the show's gonna run. Right. If they can't show up, we still gonna do the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Just the two of us.
And that's what I was gonna ask you too. Is like when you ask the guests and they don't either respond.
I hate that.
They don't either respond or they say no. How do you
Oh
deal with
my
that?
gosh, the worst thing having the worst show is having a show that's canceled. And out of the 400 shows I have done, I probably canceled 10, which some people may say, oh, that's not a lot, but for me, that's a lot. And a lot of times they don't call, or I show up, or they call at the last minute. I had a lot of shows where the last minute they said they couldn't do it. So sometimes I be sitting down, I just want to cry, because every time my show is canceled, I feel that's a step backwards of me fulfilling my dream. I feel that's a step backwards of me showing my talents and my interviewing skills and showing what I could bring to New Haven community and who could come on the show. So every time my show is canceled, I feel that's a step back. So, that, like I said, that has happened to me at least 10 times, and, you just have to go through it. You have to deal with it. And the past 4 or 5 years, I've been smart enough to have a backup plan. But my backup plan is always never good as the first guest I get. So, but, that happens. Like you said, it does cancel. And then you guys, you pay for the studio, so it's more like,
Yeah, it's set.
Right. CTV, we don't pay for the studio. They cancel. I just try to get another time. But when money is involved in anything, it changes the ball game. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, man.
Definitely kudos to you guys.
Listen, we try to make a dream happen, man.
There you go.
Just like you.
Yep.
But but this is Mike Nice. This our guest. We limited on time, but we gonna just hop into the positive report, and what the positive report. I want to give a shout out to Joyce. What's his name again? Joyce.
Joyner Lucas.
Joyner Lucas. Why do I keep saying Joyce? I'm thinking of the preacher lady. But shouts out to him. Put him on the positive report, and it's because his song "I'm Not Racist," and the song was deep from white people to black people. It was very, very deep because it was just about coming together regardless of what difference or whatever, and just understanding and hearing the story from both. Because when you sit there, you hear the story from both, you see two different perspectives and two different scopes to look at it at. But once they both sat there, they both realized that it wasn't really nothing different. It's just understand where I come from and understand what I stand for. So that's what I had got from the video. You saw the video too, Mike.
Powerful video. I agree with everything really what that video stands for, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. You know,
Great. That's it. Good video. It's good to have our generation representing that. You know, letting people know that our generation is fully knowledgeable and aware of the situations in current times.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is a good video for everyone to see and hear.
Yes, definitely is, you know, because we definitely need to see something. We need unity, you know, and we need people to stop looking at, you know, different colors of skin and where you grew up or where you're going home to, you know, and just realize that it's about helping each other and bringing us all up.
Right, and kind of that individualistic mentality, you know, it's about togetherness, you know. We have to come together, not just a race-wise. We have to come together for all races, you know, all generations, you know. There's a big gap between our parents and us, you know.
Right.
There's almost like, you know, you listen to what we tell you to do, and there's not much commonality that's brought between both generations.
Mm-hmm.
So our generation is kind of winging it. We're kind of just doing it whatever, you know, we're learning on our own as we go, you know.
Yeah,
so we got to start coming together more because we have to start building, you know.
Yeah.
That's the
it,
goal.
man. Definitely
Yeah.
stop winging it. So, you know, Mike, you know, give the people your social media.
Yeah,
where they
thank
can
you.
reach you.
So you can always reach me. My team and I were currently working on my website, so my website is not up. But you can reach me at Mike Howard on Facebook, and my profile picture is Judge Lynn from the divorce court. She's up there because she's actually going to be my guest for this Thursday. So definitely watch that. That's going to be live on Facebook and Channel 27 this Thursday. I'm going to have Judge Lynn from the divorce court, who's a beautiful, educated woman as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also reach me on YouTube, Mike Nice Show. You could subscribe to my channel. And my email is MikeNice00@att.net. You can always connect with me through email. I check my email like 4 or 5 times a day. So definitely you could connect with me on those 3 elements on social media. And like I said, this Thursday I'm going to be speaking to Judge Lynn, the divorce court. Hopefully I'll get some knowledge and some information so I would never be in front of her court with my future wife.
And people that follow us on Facebook, Instagram, you know, get on his show. You know, this again, CTV is a good you know, station. It's local, so if you're in CT area,
Definitely.
Mike Nice, man, holla at him. You know, because again, I've seen interview, man. He asks compelling questions.
Thank you.
You know, he keeps the viewers you know, engaged. So, you know, definitely, man, if you can, you know, Contrary Belief would definitely be
And
supported.
thank you both for inviting me. This is the first show of the year, right?
Nah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes,
You
thank
know,
you.
mentioned
This is the first show of the year. So
we
thank
just
you.
touched-
I'm honored.
We just
Yes,
touched
sir.
we just touched 10 episodes too, but this
Yeah.
is the 11th.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, but my man forgot to say the social media.
Yeah.
You know, IG, Instagram, Twitter, Contrary to the Belief. On YouTube, Contrary to the Belief. What else? King Heart 557 on Snapchat. You know, you can follow me.
Yep, Matt Philpott on Facebook, and then on IG is Prodigal Son 203. And we also have the Facebook, I don't know if you said it, fan page.
Yeah, Contrary to the Belief.
Like, if you can, follow. And if you want to email us and get on our show, it's contrarytobelief@gmail.com.
Yes. And you know, it was great having Mike.
Thank
you
you.
know,
Yes,
Mike
thank
came
you.
through. We actually want to talk about a lot more, but we pressed for time.
It's
But
all
thank
right.
you for coming
Nah.
through, Mike.
Thank
Any
you.
you want to say any last remarks to the people?
Just watch my show. Like I said, it comes on Thursdays, 9 p.m. This Thursday's going to come 7 live. And where you at, Otis?
Oh, it is.
Where you at?
He said, "What
Catch
up,
me
Otis?"
outside.
But you know, our finisher tagline: if we stay positive, positive energy will follow, and if we stick together, there is power.
There's power, people.
Ditto.